So I'm actually a print historian who came to history via critical theory and Foucault. And the project is called Graphic Encounters, Colonial Prints and the Inscription of Aboriginality, and it's looking at how they were put in the picture and put on the periphery of a lot of these pictures of colonial exploration and settlement. So I suppose the one big kind of idea that I'm developing is the notion of provenance in art history, and often provenance is about, the artist and the printer and the publisher, and perhaps how they connect together, and what is the kind of body of works of that particular artist, and certainly what's the context for the production and the dissemination of that artwork. But the thing I really want to introduce into the notion of provenance is descendants, and trying to find out who these people in these images, many of whom aren't named, are anonymised. They're just like a type, and a type of the primitive. To try and, through research, locate that image, and then hopefully identify who some of these unnamed people are, and then do some restitution work back to descendants. So challenging the notion of provenance and including more about the subject in the image, and hopefully making that something that's of use and interest to descendants. I think in Australia we have to localise our stories, because that's how we get to the bottom of them. Otherwise we're just like floating signifiers, and we're not really connecting to what happened here, and how we come to own land, and how we come to collect the dividends of Aboriginal dispossession. So I think that the Centre of the Inland Project is really exciting, because it localises stories, and that's a very old storytelling tradition in Australia, and it's something we need to incorporate into our knowledge systems and our knowledge production. So hopefully that's, what's before us. And of course, with any kind of art history where you're looking at imagery that incorporates natural features or is situated in the natural world, part of what we're doing now is reckoning with another kind of loss, and that's the loss of climate change, and that these places have already sometimes changed ineradicably, and if they haven't, that's certainly, on the cards over the next few decades. So it's about reckoning with environmental loss as well, but who's in those places, that wonderful approach that Tony Birch is taking about, loss of place and the loss of people in them, and that relationship is also part of what we're attending to in the Graphic Encounters project.